Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Danielle Fisher and I'm the event manager here at Eco Canada. And today's session is called Leverage Your Training Dollars, Employment Programs, Hosts and Participants. Before we start, I would like to take a moment to recognize the traditional Indigenous lands where Eco Canada's office is based in Calgary. At Eco Canada, we're committed to working towards respectful acknowledgement, collaboration, and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples across Canada. This starts with acknowledging our honor and privilege to live and work within the Treaty 7 territory. Today, we are presenting from the city of Calgary, home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. We'd also like to take this time to acknowledge traditional territories and oral practices of the Niitsitapi, home of the Blackfoot Confederacy, which includes the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, and the Tsuut'ina and Goodstoney, which include the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. Before we start, there are a few housekeeping guidelines for today's session to ensure that everyone can enjoy and participate in our session effectively. All participants are muted, so please check your audio settings to ensure that you can hear us properly. If you're experiencing any technical issues, please use the question box and select Eco Canada, the organizer, and I'll do all that I can to resolve the issue. Today's webinar is being recorded and will be made available on demand to you within the next 24 hours. Everyone who registered for the webinar will receive an email with a link to the video. Any questions that you have about the presentation or today's topic can be submitted through the chat box or question box. We'll have dedicated time during the presentation to answer any questions from the audience. Finally, we really want to know what you think about our webinars and how we can keep improving. You'll be sent a short survey after the webinar ends. Please let us know what you think or if you have any comments or suggestions about the webinar. Eco Canada's vision is to build the world's leading environmental workforce. Eco Canada seeks to help environmental workers succeed at each step of their career journey. To do this, Eco Canada has developed programs tailored to individuals at different stages of their career. For those looking to enter the environmental workforce, Eco Canada provides training through the BEAR program and accreditation for environmental programs at post-secondary institutions. Eco Canada also provides opportunities for new workers to break into the environmental sector through wage funding for co-op students and recent post-secondary graduates. For those already employed as environmental workers, Eco Canada provides the Environmental Professional, EP, and Environmental Professional in Training, EPT, certifications and EPT students. Lastly, Eco Canada provides opportunities for those with vast experience as environmental workers to provide guidance and direction to Eco Canada's products and programs through advisory committees and emeritus memberships. Now I'd like to introduce you to our speaker. Joining us is Marcia Ord. Marcia graduated from the University of Lethbridge with a BA in Political Science and has since been working at Eco Canada on our employment programs team. In her free time, she loves to rock climb and spending time in nature and has a passion for environmental sustainability. Over to you, Marcia.
Thank you, Danielle. So like Danielle said, we are going to be going over our training and wraparound supports for you so that you understand the benefits, as well as the submission processes and the supports available to you. And then we'll end with a Q&A session. So we'll start with a little overview of the training supports that Eco Canada does provide. Training supports are really vital for personal and professional growth, organizational success, and the overall quality improvement in various sectors. So by providing structured and diverse training opportunities, interns and individuals can enhance their skills, knowledge, and competencies, leading to improved performance and satisfaction and really setting them up in the beginning of their career. Despite the financial challenges that can come with investing in effective training supports that can yield beneficial or significant benefits, making it an essential component of professional development, Eco Canada helps to address those concerns through training and wraparound support reimbursements while you're in an active placement with us. So we'll go over each program, full-time program that does have eligible training supports. So starting with the Youth and Natural Resources program, If you have a placement matched in this program, the eligible supports focus on certification and training only. So we'll cover 75% of the cost of the training up to a maximum of $4,000. And the eligible supports here cover certificates, courses, workshops, webinars, as well as language training for English and French, and mentorship and career coaching, which can include goal setting, resume building, interview preparation, and job search assistance, anything that comes with that career coaching. And then training funds are allocated from a pool of funding available to all participants, and it's not $4,000 set aside for each individual placement. So it is recommended that you submit training requests early on in your placement because the funding may not be available at the end of the placement year like it is in the beginning. And then training request approval is subject to the funding availability at the time of the request. This is applicable for all of the full-time programs that we'll talk about today. And our next program is the Science Horizons Youth Internship. This program covers 80% of your training costs up to $1,000. And the fun thing about Science Horizons is that it also covers wraparound supports as well, so it has a bit of a wider coverage there. So eligible supports under this program can look like certification and training, language training, career coaching, conference and workshop registrations, as well as the accommodation if your intern is traveling to go to that training, conference, or workshop. We also can support transportation and relocation for the role, as well as technology supports, ergonomic supports, PPE that might be required for the position, and then as well as childcare and family care if that is something that that intern needs to cover the cost for while they're working full-time. And our last full-time program this year is the Digital Skills for Youth program. And this one covers 80% of your training costs up to $4,000. And this one is a little bit of a special instance in comparison to the other two programs. The training funds are included in your maximum subsidy of $18,000. So if you have been committed $18,000 towards your placement, there is no training funds available there unless you want to take away from that wage subsidy a little bit. And if you were committed less than $18,000 for your wage subsidy, which this is outlined on your agreement as your commitment, then you would have up to $18,000 available for those training supports. So training supports eligible under this program are certification and training, as well as mentorship and coaching. So any certificates, courses, workshops, and webinars that are applicable to their position. Some examples for this program can look like coding workshops, web development, digital media, software proficiency, any of those skills needed for the digital workforce there, and mentorship and career coaching in this program as well. So now we'll go over the review process a little bit to give you a better understanding of the steps involved before you get your approval. So the review process starts with you submitting the request form that you need to fill out for your item or training that you're looking to have. And this form was included within your DocuSign agreements. So you should have been able to download it, but if you don't have it or wasn't able to download that form, then just reach out to us and we're happy to provide you with the blank form to fill out. And then when you are filling out the form, you just want to ensure that every single field is complete. So that includes dates, links to the items or the trainings, the providers, etc. If there is no date outlined yet or no website that is available to provide a link for, then just make sure that you do state that on the request that there is no website or to be purchased, etc. Once you do submit your training request, you can email it to pathways@eco.ca for our employment programs team, or feel free to email it to your regional coordinator directly to file. Once it is filed for request, we ask for around 15 to 20 business days for review there. We do have a really large volume of training requests to review each week, and one manager reviews them with our funders. So just allowing that time to get through the review there. And then step 2 is if your request is approved, your regional coordinator will reach out to you and provide you with that document that you sent in, and it will have a stamp of approval from the manager as well as the amount, the dollar amount that's approved for that. And if it was declined, then a reason will be provided for that decision. Likely it's not eligible under the program, or there's just some information missing, and we'll communicate that with you as well. Step 3, if you do receive approval, you would need to provide your receipts or invoices to your regional coordinator or to the Pathways inbox within 30 days of receiving that approval so that we can get your reimbursement out to you as soon as possible. And if you're looking for some recommendations for training, maybe somewhere to start off on, if you don't have anything outlined already, but you want to take advantage of these supports, we recommend checking out our website under Eco Canada's training resources. We have a ton of resources to get you started. Online courses that are web-based and self-study training for essential business skills. This can cover things such as project management, technical writing, and professional communications. So really great soft skills to brush up on at the beginning of a placement. We also have over 50 webinars on a range of environmental topics that are free to paid, so lots of different opportunities there as well. These are all shorter trainings that take a deep dive on new trends or topics that are coming up in the environmental industry. So nature-based solutions, we've got one coming out on the blue economy, and so you can kind of brush up on more industry-related skills for your sector. And then we also offer workshops that are interactive and instructor-led a couple times a year for grant writing as well as report writing. So these are super beneficial, especially if you're working in nonprofits or in technical positions where you're going to need to brush up on those report writing skills as well. So that's the end of the presentation, but we will have a Q&A session, and I know Danielle will have those questions ready, so I'll pass it back to Danielle.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marcia. That was a wonderful presentation. It looks like there's a lot of opportunities still out there for some of us. So if you guys do have some questions, please submit them in the question box, but I do have some. And our first question is, could you share some success stories or examples of how organizations have leveraged these programs to upskill their workforce and drive growth?
Definitely. Some examples that we can refer to include utilizing the training funds to certify participants in hard skills that are required for the position, such as first aid. GIS training is very popular, as well as the BIT certification for biologists, etc. There's tons of different certifications that could be applicable for your specific position, and we get lots of those requests to certify people right away early on. Further, the training request can also be used to work on your soft skills like communication, public speaking, career coaching, and skills like that. Soft skills are super crucial in getting proficient in early on because they can transfer to any kind of position that you're doing. And all of these supports can assist the participant in accessing the supports that they need that will allow them to focus on their professional development and build their skill set early on.
Amazing. We have another question from Leah. Leah's asking, does the training have to begin and end during the internship to receive funding? I'm an intern in the SHI youth program, and I'm looking at doing a 3-month course that begins during my internship and ends a few weeks after my internship ends.
Yeah, that's a great question. We do require it to be within the placement dates. However, on some cases, it's possible to prorate that, and so we'll cover the amount that in the placement date. So I'd certainly encourage you to submit that request to your regional coordinator, work with your host if they have the form for you, and then we can discuss that with the manager and the funders to see if it is possible and if there's anything else that we can do to support you there.
Wonderful. We have another question. Can I submit funding request of a CAPM, Certified Assistant Project Management? I am working in nature-based solutions-based organization.
Yeah, certainly. Project management is a super crucial skill in the environmental sector, so we do cover a lot of project management certifications there as well. And it would be very beneficial to get that early on in your career, so I would definitely submit that request.
Wonderful. Now we have a question from someone that's outside of Canada and they would like to enroll as an immigrant. What should they do and is that possible?
So Eco Canada doesn't provide the visas or anything required for that, but we are here to support you when you get to Canada and you're looking to break into the environmental workforce. The programs that we have active right now do require you to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or have refugee status in Canada. But we are actively working with the government on new projects and hoping to, propose those projects that include work visas for newcomers, as well as we do have some resources for newcomers, lots of links and stuff and pages that you can go to that will help you in your journey to Canada. So if you would like to connect with us more and get those links, then reach out to the Pathways inbox on the screen right now and we can send you that information.
Wonderful. Now he did do a follow-up and he said that he's already in Canada with a work permit.
Yeah, perfect. So definitely email Pathways and we can provide you with all the resources that we have available for work permits right now.
And do we have a timeline for the active programs?
Our active programs will be ongoing until March 31st, 2025. Our cycles run with our government fiscal year. And so new programs will likely be announced probably around early to mid-March. So I'd keep an eye on our website around that time and then reach out to us as well if you don't see it updated yet. And we can maybe provide you with some information or let you know when it will be. And applications for the new fiscal year beginning on April 1st will typically open around March 15th to give 2 weeks for application intake there.
Okay, wonderful. What are some of the common challenges employers face when trying to access or implement training programs, and how can Eco Canada help them to overcome these obstacles?
I would say that the most common challenge that employers face is being able to take on that financial cost of training their new employees or sending them to professional development events such as workshops that they might have to travel for and pay for that accommodation. And so Eco Canada helps with overcoming that financial burden by providing these reimbursements and offering our own training courses that are also identified, researched, and tried and true to be beneficial to the environmental workforce right now. There's lots of research and training development that goes into creating our courses and working with industry professionals as well. So if you're maybe lacking time to look for outside opportunities for training or courses, then that's where I'd start off on the Eco Canada website so that you can just take a look at those. They're already researched to be really beneficial and required for a lot of positions at this time.
Wonderful. Now I actually have a question, and this is more towards the organizations, but what practical tips can you offer to organizations for making the most of their funding available through Eco Canada's initiatives?
The most practical tip I can offer is to identify your training opportunities early in the placement by sitting down with your participant and developing a roadmap for professional development. In the applications for hosts for our programs, we do ask about training, training plans, because that is a really beneficial part of the interns participating in these programs is getting a well-rounded training experience that is going to set them off on the right foot for any future opportunities. And so as the host, you're already familiar with the certifications and skill sets that are required and can provide a lot of insight for that intern into what they need to work on throughout their placement. So by sitting down and developing that roadmap early, you can get your requests in early to ensure that there's still funding remaining, and then also get ahead of that review process time as well and get that approval before you're purchasing any of your courses. So that's definitely my biggest tip, is sitting down with them early on and figuring out what their career goals are and how you guys as the organization can help them achieve that.
Wonderful. Now, are there any particular industries or sectors that have seen higher success rates in utilizing Eco Canada's training programs?
I wouldn't say that there's any particular industry that benefits from training more than another. Learning is a lifelong journey, no matter what sector you're working in, and everybody can benefit from training courses at any point of their career, whether that be learning more technical skills or brushing up on the administrative skills required for your slower seasons. So I'd say really every industry and sector in this field can definitely benefit from training at any point.
Now, we just have a quick question from Rupinder, and they are asking, can you mention the steps on where to access the program request form?
Yeah, so it was provided in the host agreement when you signed those agreements for your placement. I don't believe that you can download it after you're done like filling it out through DocuSign. And so if it wasn't downloaded when you were in the DocuSign envelope, then just reach out to us at pathways@eco.ca and we're happy to send you that blank PDF form for you to complete.
Great. Now we have some long-term goals kind of questions. For participants, what are the key factors they should consider when choosing a training program to ensure it aligns with their long-term career goals?
I would recommend to participants when you're looking at a training program, your leadership team is a really valuable resource to reach out to. So connect with your managers at your organization and ask them what kind of training and certification they're valuing and if they have any recommendations for programs. They've likely gone through the same kind of steps and they were in the beginning of their career at one point too. And so they might be able to point you in the right direction there. I know I reach out to my managers all the time if I'm interested in a training kind of course just to see if it is something that they would value in the kind of career path that I've chosen. And so that's what I would certainly recommend to participants is utilizing your managers and the career coaching that they can give you as well.
Great. And we have time for one last question here, and that question is, what resources and support does EcoCanada offer after the training is complete to help both employers and participants sustain the impact of their training investment?
Yeah. So while the funded coverage for training will end when your placement is complete, EcoCanada offers a wide range of supports for you outside of the wage funding. Obviously, you guys are all familiar with our wage funding programs, but it's really such a small part of EcoCanada and what we do. One thing I'd recommend is looking at the environmental professional designation after you're complete. It's an amazing opportunity to showcase your commitment to your environmental career. And when you become certified as an EP or an EPT, an environmental professional or environmental professional in training, you gain discounts on new and existing training courses that we offer. And so you can continue to take those after your placement at a discounted cost, as well as you get networking opportunities. We have over 3,000 EPs in Canada, and we do road shows every year. So we're constantly doing networking opportunities in your city with EPs or in cities close to you. We do virtual networking opportunities as well. And then we also love to support our EPs in their careers by showcasing their work and presenting awards at our annual Eco Impact Conference. And so there's a lot of support and engagement that we can give you as an environmental professional once your placement's over.
I agree, 100%. Well, this is a wonderful presentation. It was filled with great advice and tips. Like we said, you can reach out to pathways@eco.ca and you can be connected with your regional coordinator. So thank you so much, Marcia. Any last words to our employees and employers?
Just a thank you for joining us and giving us your time today. And we look forward to seeing how you guys are going to take advantage of the training opportunities that we have in these programs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marcia. Everyone have a wonderful day.